big changes, small changes, and how we handle those changes. And maybe it's different
before we go on
with the big changes than it is with the small changes. It just depends. Maybe it's different with the different circumstances. Maybe you're more sensitive toward it happening in one area of your life, like work, or maybe you're more sensitive inside the family with changes. It can be so many layers and levels. And how do you navigate that and give yourself comfort or support when you're going through those things, be they big or small? So, Allie, why don't you start us off?
Oh, boy. I think, Sharon, you had something you wanted to say.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. Val, speaking about changes, you and I have a milestone birthday.
No. You don't
want to talk about it.
No.
Oh, no, I'm totally down for it. Like, it's just a number. But I wanted to say happy birthday, fellow Pisces, Val.
Hello, happy birthday to you.
I'm going to have a birthday month.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay,
all right, Sharon. All right. So, yeah, I would say most recently, I've been in a very big change since October 30th, 2023, when my husband had a RSV shot that went bad. And so between that and now, we've been in and out of hospitals about 6 or 7 times, and he's still not, they can't find what they need, and so on and so forth. So we have to close down our business. And so we're going to do that, which is a big change. Yeah. And we weren't quite ready to do it because we hadn't really settled enough in there that we were going to get some money for that for our retirement. But, oh, well, what can I do? So for me, this has been a kind of a story of my life for big and small changes, is that I just have to accept. And before I'd push against it, I'd rail against it. I'd be upset about it all the time. And now it's like, oh, well, what am I going to do? It happened a couple of years ago when my roof almost caved in and everybody was really helpful. But that was the first time I really just thought, well, it is what it is. Very, very difficult for somebody like me who likes to have everything planned out. So, but I really feel like when you've got the support of so many other people and you see that you're not the only one that goes through all these bad things. People have losses. People have a financial loss. They have divorces. They lose children. There's so many things that are out there that can happen to us all. We just all get what we're supposed to get, I guess. And kind of have to ride with that. Right. There's not much choice we have, but it really makes a huge difference. Yes, Mary, you're right. The way you look at it, the way you look at it.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Allie. That's really true. Yeah, the way you look at everything changes your energy and the energy of what's coming forward as well, just from that perspective shift. And you actually can enjoy yourself in the moment a little more than you would have if you were railing against it or in resistance. So thank you for sharing that. And Marina, what's your experience with the changes, big or small?
Big or small?
In handling.
I spent a good portion of my life kind of not giving in to things happening the way that they should, trying to kind of have control over things that I really had no control over. And it was when I got to the point that I honestly realized and kind of took in that I have no control. The only thing I can control is my reaction to whatever happens. The rest of it, I can scream, I can yell, I can fight, and I can argue. It's not going to change the circumstance in any way, shape, or form. So once I sort of got into that mindset and really settled with it and really believed it, it did change everything. It changed the whole perspective. Now, change is something that it's unexpected. Oh, my first thought is, oh, this is going to be exciting.
Oh, I love that.
Rather than dreading it, it's like, I can't wait to see what happens next. So, I've had a few people who have said, oh yeah, well, that's because, you're living in your head, and maybe, but it's a nice place. It really
I was
is.
going to say, I like the real estate there.
Absolutely. It's very gentle. And I can then, coming from that place, I think I can look at change as something positive, and I don't have to have that knee-jerk reaction, right? I can sit back and go, oh, okay, well, there's options, different things. So, make it into something good. But I think it was the shift in the thinking and saying change is good, change is okay. That really, really helped.
Yeah, that's a ginormous leap from being in fear over what will the future look like, which is a place that a lot of people sometimes go. And you're talking about looking at life with the glass half full and not half empty. Yes. What wonderful things are coming to me. So, yeah, when you think of the universe as bringing you things that are wonderful for you, for your highest good, you're going, oh, I wonder what's coming next.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that, Marina. That's a great perspective. And Sherry, how do you handle changes?
Not very well.
I mean, well, it's a big thing for all of us, right?
Not very well.
Yeah.
Now, small changes, you just kind of go with the flow. What happens, happens.
Yeah.
I don't like conflict. It makes me physically ill. So I tend to just roll with whatever happens to avoid conflict. Mm-hmm. But like when I got hurt, that was a big change. It turned my whole life upside down. Because suddenly I went from doing, doing everything myself and not thinking twice about it to suddenly I needed help to get up and walk across the room.
So that was when you hurt your back, right?
That's when I got my back and my neck hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind me again, Sherry, how that happened?
2 coworkers got into a cat fight in my office. 2 big Amazon women. And I just didn't run out of the room fast enough. And they knocked me down and fell on top of me. And when I came to, the ambulance was there putting me on a backboard telling me don't move. And I was like, I can't feel my feet. Something's wrong. I couldn't feel anything. I was numb. Because where my back hit the edge of the desk, and it was a sharp edge desk. And where it hit exactly on one of the bones in my spine. Had either me or the desk been a fraction taller or shorter, it would have hit between 2 vertebrae and snapped my spine in 2.
Oh my gosh.
As it was, it hit right on the bone, but it did irreparable damage. My neck was messed up. My back was messed up. My jaw got dislocated. Teeth got knocked out. I mean,
oh my God.
I was the one in the fight. And I was just running for the door because they got into it. And I'm the one that's had to live with it ever since.
Oh my God.
And I do my therapy every day at home and take my medication like I'm supposed to. And I still have some days when I literally can't get out of bed. I crawl to the bathroom. I can't stand up. Because as the time has passed, because this was back in 1999.
Yes,
as time has passed, the discs in my middle and lower back have slowly been just kind of degenerating. And now I have several that are completely gone. So it's just bone on bone in my lower back. It got like that in my neck. That's when they did the cervical. So I have a steel
Wow.
rod and 6 screws that hold my head up, but I can do this. And I couldn't do that before I had the surgery.
Wow.
And so you learn to live with it. You learn to adapt, but do I wish I'd never been hurt? Oh, absolutely. That would have been nice, but it is what it is, I mean.
So when that happened and you had all that change happen, did you go through like the stages of grief where you have to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
that's what they say about things like that.
I went through
Yeah.
major grief that I couldn't
Yeah.
take care of myself, grief that I was already a caretaker to my husband who was injured years before and was disabled. Suddenly I couldn't take care of him anymore. I couldn't take care of me. I couldn't take care of our son, who was
That's
just
not
starting
something
high
you just
school.
snap right out of. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's just been a long road ever since, and you just kind of learn to go with it. What happens happens. And
What do you think it's taught you, Sherry? What do you think?
Patience.
Patience.
Number one, patience.
To stay away from people who fight.
The dog won't stop barking.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is that even when something bad happens, it taught me to look for the positive in it, because it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so whenever I started feeling sorry for myself,
Yeah.
I stopped and remind myself I could have had my spine snapped in two.
Oh,
In
man.
this case, I probably would have been in a wheelchair the rest of my life. Or worse, I mean, if I had hit just right, it could have broke my neck and that could have killed me. So, yeah, I mean, just there were so many ifs, if this
Right.
just a little bit had changed it, and so it was like, for whatever reason, I'm meant to go through this. And sometimes I think it's to help other people go through it that I meet who go through something similar. And just to learn to kind of go with it. I mean, I try not to let it bother me as much as possible. I still work full time, and I still, I took care of my mom for 10 years, and you do what you got to do, and you go to bed, you get up the next day, you go, okay, I'm still breathing, so it must be good.
Yeah.
That was so major that minor things probably aren't that big of a deal after that. Probably,
it's little things don't
you don't
really
sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Right. You've had the big stuff. So yeah, that kind of eclipsed everything else.
It did, yes. It kind of puts in perspective
it does.
all the petty crap that we can let get to us. And
absolutely.
I have my moments when the petty crap gets to me, and
I
we voice myself, but usually I just kind of let it roll on, or whatever,
Yeah, well,
it's not worth it's not worth the time and effort it takes to be upset.
Right.
I'd rather just be like, stay la vie and go on about my business. It is what it is.
Thank you for sharing that.
Learn to deal with it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's pretty amazing that you are in as good a shape as you are, doing this every day and going to work, holding a job down. So
10 hours a day.
You're a success story.
10 hours a day. Friday's half a day. So
so many people would just crawl into their bed and never get out,
Yeah, for sure.
I've had days like that when I couldn't get
out.
out
Oh,
of
sure.
bed.
I know. But a lot of people.
A lot of people will just quit.
Good.
So somebody here wanted to know what happened to the two women who started the fight.
Yeah. They were both fired immediately. They were both arrested.
Thank you.
Because of the way Louisiana law is. Um, and I mean, I was asked by the police and by lawyers if I was going to press charges against them. And I was like, why? They don't have anything. They're working the same damn job I got. You know, we're making just above minimum wage. They don't have any more money than I do. So,
Well, that's very gracious of you.
you know, they lost their job. They got an arrest warrant on, you know, they got arrested. I figured that's punishment enough as far as I was concerned. I mean,
yeah, it
what was I
wasn't
gonna
going to
get
make
out of
your,
it, you
it
know?
wasn't going to change your situation.
No, it wasn't.
No.
And one girl was very apologetic and very remorseful
Mhm.
once she realized what had happened. She was someone who reacted in the moment and didn't think it through, you know.
Right.
The other person apologized, but I think it was just more to make everybody else get off her back about it, you know, and hoping that I wasn't going to press charges against her, which I had already decided I wasn't going to do anyway. So they didn't have anything. So what was I going to get out of it? But, you know, going through all of that mess, and I had enough to deal with. I didn't want to deal with it. So.
No, that was generous of you, because I'm sure she probably thought you'd be on a vendetta, and that really would not have been the best energy for you.
Or
And I've
sued.
had people ask me why I didn't pursue it back then. And I was like,
could have sued her. You didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sharon, what are your experiences with handling big and small changes in your life?
I seem to do it big. There doesn't seem to be small. Well, you guys know my story. I've been through so many changes. The huge one was losing my stepson in 2006 in a terrible car crash. But of course, also being in a marriage and realizing I'm gay, you know, getting the courage to leave. And actually, I didn't leave because of that. It was because it was not a good place for me to be in this marriage. But, you know, I have so many things that I've done, like change, like I'm in my first marriage, an interracial marriage, which wasn't common back when I was young. It was still pretty, you know, oh, people would take a second look sort of thing. You know, so I've done that. And you know, as a result, my daughters have married. I mean, they're half Asian themselves, but they've married into other races. Like it's been really, and I think it's because of the lesson we taught, like people are people. And I was just off the phone with, I got it. I think I told you, I got a new family doctor. My other one retired, and we're so short of doctors here. And anyways, the fellow I've got, I think he must be Muslim. He has an accent, so he wasn't, you know, born in Canada, that sort of thing. He's such a sweetheart, and I keep telling him, I'm so grateful you've taken me on as a patient. He says, no, I'm grateful to you. I think he probably goes through a lot of racist stuff. So I think he's just a gem. Yeah, I've been so divorced, facing my sexuality, the death of a child. I mean, having to start over, financially. I mean, it's just been one big. But I've so learned from it, and what I've learned for major things like death of a child or those kinds of horrible things is to go deep in your grief. Like, don't avoid it. Face it. Allow yourself to go through the stages. And I got help. I got professional help. And I had PTSD from the car accident. So, you know, I got help for that as well. And I'm so grateful. And, you know, and I don't know, I've just been the phoenix rising all the time, the phoenix rising from the ashes. And it's because I think of my attitude: feel the grief, go deep, don't avoid it. I know you will come, you know, I know now through the big changes I've been through that you do come out the other side and stronger. So, hey, the little changes, they're just little mosquito bites on the road. I don't know. It's, yeah, I know I obviously had to come to this lifetime, and my lessons were how to handle these things.
Right.
And
Wow.
yeah,
That's a lot of change.
I've had a lot of change. I mean, I haven't even told
I
you
mean,
all.
those are pretty major changes.
Absolutely. I haven't even told you. I mean, I could go on and on. In fact, one woman, she asked me kind of my life story. And so somebody's really buzzing me. Sorry. And she said, God, like she was a playwright. She said, I want to write your story one day. It's so, it's so
You couldn't make it up. It's got so much.
no.
I've had several people want me to write a book too about all of the stuff that happened.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So,
like,
and
who
also,
could imagine all those things in one lifetime? You know?
I know. And so, after the death of my son, I mean, I'm trudging and putting one foot in front of the other. I'm also teaching full time. It's a full on job. And I know I wasn't giving my all because I couldn't. But then I was transferred, and it was not a transfer I wanted, but it turned out to be the best thing that happened to me. And this particular school and the staff and kids healed me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes those things that are shifts, like you say, it's actually a wonderful place for you to be, but you didn't want it in the beginning. So
No.
it turned out to be something for your highest good. And yeah.
I mean, even with my ex-husband, we're best friends because we've both dealt with our stuff.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't want to be married to him, but we're really good friends. So we're a good mom and dad, and of course I've been through my tribulation, my daughter being so ill. So yeah, I've had a pretty trying life, but I don't know. I'm happy. I'm content. I wake up in the morning and I have my morning coffee and look outside my cabin at beautiful scenery, and I go, I am so blessed.
I mean, you're blessed.
I'm
Exactly. I mean, when you do take your head out and look around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel so content, even going through all these things. I've had a good career. I'm finally gotten used to retirement, and I love it too. And I don't know, I'm just really content. And I've been pushed by spirit that I should be doing more. And I'm saying, get my message out to the world, that sort of thing. And I'm thinking, but I'm so content right here. Why are you bothering me? But they're pushing harder.
We always get nudged with something more. Just when we feel settled and, oh man, this is so
exactly
just
like,
going.
I've been through the mill. I feel I've gone through it really well. Like, why are you nudging me?
Yeah. It's
I mean, my mother's even coming through in messages.
It's like a cycle that, like the Wheel of Fortune. It happens, and then we have to, hopefully, like Marina said, we're looking at it like, oh, what adventure is coming next? What wonderful new thing. Because what does it do to be in denial or restrict everything? It just hurts you. Not being in the flow.
Really important to go through the things you're grateful for and do that.
That grateful feeling will save you a lot.
I mean, I live in a very, very modest rustic cabin. I love it.
Yeah.
And other people probably think I'm crazy.
But everybody's currency is different. So
absolutely. I'm being grateful on the way to work. I mean, I go by this beautiful lake, and and I go, who has a commute like this? Like I would just daily, as I was driving to work, go through all the things I'm grateful for. What is a way to start your day?
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to start your day. And it's great that you look up and acknowledge and see all that, because it's all pretty easy to be in your surroundings and get used to it and take it for granted and not appreciate everything. And I think that's some reason why gratitude, a program of gratitude every day, putting yourself on that kind of a program is a really smart thing to do for yourself. And it brings you more abundance and more
And Melanie, if
joy.
I hadn't done the things I've done to get through that, I don't think I'd still be on this planet.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, to interrupt.
Yeah.
I'm getting an echo.
Oh,
Is anybody else in the chat? Are you hearing an echo? Is it me or?
I don't hear an echo from anybody.
I don't either.
That's weird.
All right. Well, then maybe it's just me. Never mind.
The trick is when that wheel comes round, you don't get crushed underneath it.
We all know you're weird, Nina.
It's your powerful energy, Noelle.
Oh, I love my sisters.
Okay, well, it's got to be me then. Yeah, I was going to say one of
be me.
yes, one of the things that and I remember seeing this and I can't remember where, but it really struck with me, and it said, "I have survived storms. Raindrops don't scare me."
Oh, exactly. What a good metaphor for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that.
There's another meme that goes around every now and again. I'll see it on Facebook. So I'm going to repost it. And it's just a simple statement. It says, the storm says to the warrior, you cannot withstand the storm. And the warrior answers back, I am the storm.
Oh, another good one. I'm getting chills.
Yeah.
You guys those are powerful, powerful examples of looking at something differently. Yeah, in a powerful way. In a powerful way.
That it really sucks when these bad things happen. As I said, you know, if I feel the grief really.
Well, it's just, I mean, when you label something bad, that's the first step in the wrong direction.
Exactly.
Just stay in the neutrality of it and appreciate everything in front of you. And I know that's hard to do when somebody.
I mean, work. I had, work. You have to work at it.
Yeah, it's something you have to work at for sure.
I know Mel Gore has a saying, and I wound up writing it down, and I put it in my email signature now.
I love it.
It says, don't let fear stand in front of you and block your way. Yeah. Let it stand behind you and push you forward.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Because, one of the,
that's awesome.
Yeah, one of the tenets or one of the main things of being in life is to get out of the ego, and the ego mind is where fear lives. So when you can face everything and be with it and still go do it, that's where you're self-actualized. That's where you're bringing your life forward in the most positive way.
Yeah.
And for me, as far as change, I kind of thrive on change. I kind of like get itchy. It's like the most I could ever be in a job is like maybe 5 or 6 years. But I stayed in my last job 10 years, which was like a miracle. The one in San Francisco, because I get bored and I want to change. The same old thing is just it's not something I like, which is probably why I like to travel. So I am good with change. Am I good with small little things that, like if I don't have my chai tea and they're out of this and out of that, and maybe they don't serve that brand anymore, or maybe that's irritating as heck. I'm good with the most big things, moving, whatever. I go, let's do it. Yeah, I love that. Let's see what adventure comes. I would say my biggest hurdles are on those little things I get set. I love my little things like the chai tea, the right brand, the right milk, and whatever it is that I'm, kind of hooked into at the time. Those are more of a hurdle than the big things, oddly enough. Mm-hmm. And they are little hurdles to get over. But anyway, that's it for me. So now that we've talked about all that, that's exactly right, Queen. fear and ego is so debilitating. It just robs you of your joy and energy.
Yeah.
And it's illusion. All of this stuff coming in the ego mind, this chatter and stuff you hear, is just illusionary stuff to grab your attention away from who you really are. And so, yeah, that's what we're here to do. So, let me.
Yeah.
So
And
anyway, Sally's saying, I
yeah,
used to be more like this, but when the world fell apart, everything became less important. It's true. It's just like Sherry was sharing as well, that when these major events happen in your life and the world falls apart, literally, and
yeah.
just every day is,
You learn to
Yeah.
appreciate waking up in the morning.
yeah. And Diana's saying the big things are what we can't change. Just add and adapt a new way, the fine tuning of all life. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know what? Fear, there are things that I have done, and I know that will come up in the future that I may be a little fearful of. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Like there's any time that you do something new for the first time, there's a little bit of apprehension and
Yeah.
what about this? What about that? The thing to remember is, do you want to give into the fear and say no to opportunities because I don't know what's on the other side? Or do you want to say, yeah, I'm a little apprehensive, but you know what? I'll give it a try.
You
And
wouldn't be on YouTube if you didn't give it a try, because who wasn't afraid at first?
Exactly.
It's just, but look at how much you enjoy and what the community you are a part of. Example, for all of us, we've
There's
gone
so
through
many things that new things I've tried that I was scared shitless. I mean, motorcycle riding was one of them, but
Yeah.
I toughed it through.
There
Yeah.
you go.
And I
You get
love
the
it.
return on the value of that is just so.
Yeah.
You get to expand who you are and enjoy more because you're doing motorcycle riding. You've embraced this tarot community, and I was just going through, and they had another.
That reminds me. When I moved to Phoenix, it was very last minute. I just did it, and after being out there a couple of years, my mother moved out to Phoenix to live with me for a while. And it was while she lived with me in Phoenix that she had the brain aneurysm.
Mm-hmm.
And had she not been in Phoenix with me, she would not have survived it. But because Phoenix had one of the top neurological surgical centers in the world, like in the top 5, they were able to get her in to emergency surgery. They did what then was experimental and now is standard procedure for dealing with the kind of hemorrhage that she had. And she was able to be home inside of 2 weeks.
That's great.
And back to work inside of like 2 months.
Wow.
Which the doctors couldn't get over. But had she still been here, they said that she probably wouldn't have survived because we don't have at that time the city where we live, where back home here for me, didn't have that kind of a facility here to handle that.
Wow.
And they would have had to have flown her to like Houston or New Orleans or somewhere. And they don't, the doctor said, I don't think you would have survived the trip.
Yeah.
So
everything happens for a reason.
It does. It does.
You just have to have faith. Yeah.
It's really true. And Morg in the void says, y'all know better than anyone. The tower card is originally followed by the star.
That's right.
There's always a bright future ahead, even after drastic and difficult changes. That's exactly right. And the tarot is the journey of our soul that we're making here. So we should remember that.
I had a dream last month that I was in a forest, but it was so dark. I felt like I was going through this dark tunnel, but I was concentrating on the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mhm.
And it was a message, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. You know how to get through the dark times.
Yeah, that's right.
I hope they're done, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
More than my share.
Really. So Harley's saying that was so funny. Earlier today, I was thinking about something Marina said to me the other day, and what you said about travel and change popped into my mind.
Nice.
Why you watch us, because we have all these synchronicities that show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So we do have two questions. Only two this week, you guys, for some reason. And Jules Niner, who is here in the chat, wants to know if we can pull a card on the outcome of the possible promotion at her husband David's work. Will he get it, or will he need to look for a job somewhere else?
Hi, Garnet. Yeah, I think I got the Knight of Cups. I think, yes, he is going to get it. It may not happen as quickly as he'd like, but he is going to get it.
I have the microphone. They're ready to communicate with him about this. So it may be, time is hard to tell, but they are ready to step up and communicate to him about this particular position. So,
And I got the sun.
oh, wow.
Can't
Yeah.
be better than that. So,
Well, I pulled co-create, and it says this splashes of inspiration give rise to great success when you receive this. You're at your most creative now. Another part of the message was, you may not consider yourself a creative person, but in fact, you're creating your reality every moment of every day through your thoughts. And so he's going to get out of it what he's put into it. And if it's not the right job for him, then those doors will close, but something else will open up. So
nice. And Sharon.
I got the Queen of Pentacles. Now remember, it doesn't, the gender doesn't matter.
Mhm.
What I get is, yeah, he's such a capable, intelligent, logical person that they appreciate that. And of course, Pentacles are good for finances too. So yeah, I think they like how he takes care of everything. And yeah, he will get it.
Well, he certainly got all dynamically good cards. So,
Didn't he? Wow.
yeah, so it looks good. Thanks for that question, Jules Niner. And we have this philosophical question. When someone takes their life, Leah is asking, what is the effect on contracts held in that soul family? Thank you all. Well, I can just answer from my perspective.
Yeah.
First is that that soul signed up to come in, and all those family members already knew that this was the way they were going out. It was something they all agreed to, and it was to teach lessons by that action. Every single person involved, nothing is wasted. You learn something from every single activity that happens in one's life, and crossing over is a big thing. And your timing to cross over is, you may have a few different times, but you can definitely go when you want at one of these nexus points, and you are already, how it's going to go. you know what, whether you're going to commit suicide or what, however it is, you take yourself off the planet. It is part of your plan. There is nothing by accident. Let's put it that way. And so everyone already knew, everyone who signed up in that family, everyone in the soul family and the oversoul, it was to bring back new information and understand what occurs within a human being when they go through that. So Allie, what do you get?
I have the law, and it looks like a Libra card, but it's balance. And it's the laws that we all have to follow in the spiritual realm, just as much as we have to follow them down here on the planet. And I had act with common sense and responsibly. And yet I know that this has all been a contract. Like Val said, it's been a contract that was made by the whole family. So it was something they understood would probably happen unless something drastically changed. So the law is pretty much set in motion, as above, so below.
Yeah, I get the Fool, and that's it. You know up front exactly what it is that you're going to be doing. It sounds, I mean, to us here right now, thinking about it, how could someone sign up for a suicide, knowing the effect that it would have on the family and everything else? How could they willingly do that? Sometimes the lesson is for the person. Sometimes the person is the lesson for someone else. So you don't know the ripple effect and the effect that it has on not only the family here, but also the spiritual family. But yeah, like the Fool, it's the first step in the contract. Everybody knows there are no surprises. That's what I get.
Okay, Sherry.
I think the dog quit barking finally. I pulled Poised, and it talks about being ready, bringing things to light, being at your best. I've never lost anyone to suicide. I can only go by what those who have expressed. I do believe that we all decide how we're going to come in and go out before we ever get here. That's already laid out. We just don't remember it once we arrive. Unfortunately for us, have to start over again. But I feel like, especially something on this level, that there is some part maybe of whoever it is that knows they're not going to be here long. And I think other family and friends and whatnot that are there, there may be some of them that pick up on that too, that know that, that spouse or that parent or that child or that friend is not long for this world, as people say, that they're going to step out. And it always made me think, how much pain must someone be in to make that decision? But that was before I started learning about all of this and how it incorporates us and soul contracts and all of that stuff. And now I understand it's on a much different level than what I ever thought of it before. So now I don't sit and think, what kind of pain must they have been in to make that choice? But now instead, I think in terms of what was the lesson the rest of us are supposed to learn because they made that choice. Is that's what the decision was based on, was for all of those left behind and the lessons they needed to learn. So it's almost like a volunteer thing. And I don't mean that in a flippant way. I mean, just it's like stepping up and saying, I'll be the one. I'll do it.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And the pain from both sides is I'm sure, enormous.
Right. Right. And I just want to jump in here. Sharon's next, but Harley's asking the question, which relates. It's not a new question. Just saying, if the lesson, if the family members know what's going to happen before it does, then what kind of lesson is there to learn when they already know? Well, we don't know. We come in with amnesia on purpose because that's our fun place. This is the Earth School where we literally come and don't remember we're a spiritual being projecting down into this vehicle so that we can have these situations. Because when we're on the other side, we feel bliss, oneness, love. We don't have any angst. There isn't any of this kind of experience. So we created Earth School so we could come down and feel what it feels like to live through these things. But once you leave the illusion and you're out of the body, it's like, oh, you know, none of it is something that you just retain the wisdom from it. So I hope that makes sense. And Sharon, you're next.
Well, I agree with everything you've said, Val, and what my sisters have said. That's I believe too that it's a contract that you were part of signing or whatever, signing. That you were all came together to be in this lifetime together, and these were the things that, on a spiritual level, you knew was going to be thrown at you. The card I got was, the Strength. This is the Emperor, and what immediately came to me was that the lion back here is that's back over on the other side. And they're sending you to Earth School, and sending you with the strength to handle these lessons and to learn from going through these lessons. And he's very confident. Like he's got the tools to handle anything. And they're trying to show you that you have the tools to handle anything that comes your way. And yes, Sherry, I have felt the pain. I wanted to commit suicide after the death of our son. And I was the driver of the vehicle. The accident wasn't my fault, but still, I was the driver of the vehicle. I could have done this. I could have done that.
Mm-hmm.
But what, at my lowest point, what I thought, I cannot put my daughters through this. That's crazy.
And it obviously wasn't on your path.
No, obviously wasn't.
Yeah.
No, but I know the pain. Like if it been,
Yes, absolutely. The pain of feeling like you want to just go out.
I just want to go. Take me now.
In some way, shape, or form, they'll stop you from doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
Your guardian angels will keep you here. Yeah.
Once I had that realization, Val.
Yeah.
Then I was fine. I knew I could work through it.
That's good. Yeah, that's a hard one. Definitely.
I definitely, we sign up for it. I've learned a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It is something that I know it's Harley and Leah. I know on the other side, we're all like, we've been just zipping around here and there. We're feeling great. We're in bliss. We're happy. And we've been doing it for years and years because time is like sped up so fast. Then we say, it looks fun. Let me go down there and, I want to try out blah, blah, blah. And it seems so fun. And you get together with your soul family and you say, you play this role and I'll play that role. And you're so excited and it feels so fun because at the end of the day, these are the things you're going to come back with. And you think, this will be great. The more the merrier, the bigger the situation you have to cover. And then you get down here, you don't remember any of it. And you think it's horrible life, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. It's really a blessing. And everyone that comes in front of you in your life that you might curse because they've been mean to you or they've been this, they're playing that role to help you step into your power. So that person that's an antagonist is actually your best friend on the other side. So think about it from that perspective.
Yeah, well, who was it who said, the world's a stage and we are all but players?
See, that is Shakespearean philosophy 101. And I subscribe to looking at it that way so that you can understand that you don't have to overly dramatize everything. Of course, the death of a child, which I've had as well. And that is not something, that's a tough one, but he's alive. He's alive more than here. This is the illusionary holographic universe, and he's actually alive.
I didn't know that, Val. Wow.
Yeah. So,
wow.
So,
and I think I got pushed into doing this work by my son because he kept physically doing things in my house and sending me messages. So, and the other thing is, I like who I am today, and all those experiences have made me who I am today.
Well, yeah, I mean, it gives you, let's just say it broke me down to my basic core. And then I had to somehow emerge like a butterfly out of it. 8 years of that pile of grief.
Yeah, it took me 9 years.
It took me 8 years, and I did so many energetic experiences, doing everything I could. And it wasn't until I did that 45-day Buddhist practice every morning of releasing that grief and releasing my son, that finally I was through it.
Right.
But anyway, so let's not close on that note. Let's pick a card for the community, and then we'll be done.
I just want to say that Teresa Ford's lost her daughter yesterday, 43 years old. And so everybody, if you would pray for her, that would be wonderful. She's going through a very difficult time. Her daughter was exercising, and apparently her brother came home and found her deceased. So I just want to bring it up. I'm trying to bring it up as much as possible, just to get everybody to send love and prayers to her.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's really hard.
Yeah.
How old was your son, Bill?
My son, when he passed, was 38 years old. He had a pulmonary embolism at work.
Oh my gosh.
And but I had the signs, things my guides were trying to tell me. He tried to tell me. So, yeah. But you don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So, so this is what I get for the community. There is only light.
Beautiful. Wow. The one I got is from a new deck, actually. I just got the deck yesterday, the Golden Future Oracle from Hay House. And it's the Golden Cities. It says the Golden Cities to live ecologically and harmoniously with each other. And, it's not easy to live harmoniously right now. So it is within our power, however, to live up here harmoniously, not send out any bad juju to anybody that you may disagree with. But, we have to take care of our planet. We have to take care of each other. And if we don't start stepping up to doing that, we're going to lose both. So yes, a reminder.
Yeah.
And I got the Knight of Swords. Just forward. Be be mindful of your pursuits. Keep looking ahead. Keep being positive. Don't pay attention too much to all the noise and stuff that is going on around you to try to distract you from your purpose. And your purpose is to go forward. Your purpose is to learn. So forge forward.
Yeah, that's great. Beautiful. Sherry? Oh.
Breathe.
There you go.
Just breathe. Take a deep breath. Hold it a few seconds. Let it out. Just breathe. You'll get through whatever it is you're facing, and it'll calm you down so you can think it through carefully. What's my next step? Just breathe.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. And Sharon, what card do you have?
Very interesting card. This is from the African Goddess Rising Oracle. And I pulled Surrender. What's very interesting is the picture. There's this lady on the settee here, and there's this kind of gnome-like person basically on her chest. And I see that as the challenges and the bad things that happen in life. And so there's the spirit saying, just surrender. Not meaning that you should put up with certain things in your life, but just, something you can't change or whatever, surrender.
We're just saying, go with the flow. Flow with what shifts and changes happen in your life. And it's certainly, that's kind of the theme of today is when you have the perspective like Allie and Marina and everyone, all of Sharon and Sherry were talking about, that can definitely help you.
We all have our stories. We all have our crosses.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. So, let's send a light this for at least half a minute here. Let's just stop for a moment and request a most benevolent outcome for
Teresa.
Teresa Ford. Teresa Ford.
Teresa Ford.
And her family.
Please, for the loss of her daughter recently. Let's send her a lot of love, light, and healing to her and her family, and ask any and all beings of light to assist, to bring comfort and healing and grace. Thank you. Okay. All right. Gee. Okay. And with that, we thank you all for being with us today. And sorry, this doesn't seem very uplifting, but it's how these things have to be said. Sending you a lot of love out there. And thank you all for your beautiful questions and information that you shared, your energy with us in the chat. Thank you so much. And all of my lovely sisters, thank you for being here with me during this show. And we'll see you all next week. And it's going to be
Sherry. Yeah, she and I switching
weeks.
Ellie and I
are switching weeks.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So
all right.
Thank you.
Much love, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.